This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick, what's going on?
Oh, not much, John. Just like winding things up with classes and looking forward to the holidays and all.
Oh, okay, great. What do you got on tap for us tonight?
Okay, well tonight I am talking about something that has some shared DNA with like with the Attack on Titan anthology that came out was a year ago, no, 2 years ago, and that was a series. Sorry, that was an anthology series an anthology hardback where like American creators took on told stories within the realm of Attack on Titan. It's like, and some of them were really good. Some of them were kind of like superfluous, and some of them like were probably would have been more interesting. It's like were like like they took the setting and the setup, but they didn't actually the stories they told didn't actually have like a really strong connection to Attack on Titan. So it was kind of a mixed bag, but overall it kind of worked better than you would have expected. Well, I guess it's like, okay, having other people take on, like, even though it's like having other creators take on creations that characters and setups have been created by other characters has been kind of has been basically what the American comic book industry has been built on. It's not something we see very often, in Japan. I mean, it's like when that does happen, like the result is kind of it's like with Naoki Urasawa's Pluto is kind of an event, or it's just kind of like it's either an event or it's kind of like a cheap cash in, which is kind of forgotten. It's like and quickly discarded. So, but apparently the Attack on Titan anthology did well enough. Or maybe it's just that Kodansha realized, hey, it's like we've got that Ghost in the Shell movie that came out last year. Maybe you can probably try and piggyback on like whatever success it has, like with this kind of with a similar kind of project. Well, the good news is that it's like Global Neural Network. It's like I believe it is overall a stronger product than than the Attack on Titan anthology. It's like that's mainly down to the fact that it's that instead of casting a wide net as far as all the creators that they got who were interested in it, it's like, and giving them just say eight or 16 pages to work in, they wound up selecting four separate writer artist creative teams and gave them 40 odd pages to work with. And so it's like they're actually able to tell it's like a pretty in-depth stories within the world of Ghost in the Shell. So like I said, I do believe that the overall results are stronger. Not every story hits the right marks that that I was expecting, but it's like I will say that the best stories in here could easily qualify for solid episodes of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, which, if you'll recall, is what I believe is like the best iteration of Ghost in the Shell to date. Because hey, it's like the manga, it's like kind of like the first series is fine. It's like but it suffers from the fact that I saw the Mamoru Oshii's original Ghost in the Shell movie first, and it blew my mind. And then I went into the it's like when I went and got the manga, because like, hey, the original source material is usually always better. Well, it's like that the original source material was quite a lot different than that original movie, and so it's like I was kind of left kind of lukewarm about that. And then you had the follow-up manga, Man Machine Interface, which is total crap, like the epitome of the kind of science fiction storytelling that's more concerned with tech than characters or humanity. But the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex series, it's like both seasons, and it's like I believe are like the best extension of the franchise. Believe it or not, and even then, like the second season, is even better than the first one, which is no small task right there. But it's like here. But it's probably I should probably start talking about the actual stories themselves. So first, it's called Automatic Behavior. It's from writer Max Gladstone and artist David Lopez. I am not familiar with Max Gladstone. I understand that he's apparently a science fiction writer, and this is his first significant comics work. David Lopez, however, has done several superhero stories for Marvel and DC. I remember he worked on it's like Fallen Angel with Peter David at DC. And he's done some X-Men comics for Marvel, as well as the opening arc of All New Wolverine. It's like, and so basically, to say Lopez, it's like he's got some really solid artistic chops, and they're on fine display here. As he really does a good job of nailing the look of the characters. It's like the tech. It's like and also just like shows a classy guy. It's like showing Major Kusanagi fighting in a Chinese dress and like doing some flips and not gracing with the panty shot. So well done, Mr. Lopez. It's like you do us all proud. So as for the story itself, basically starts off with the Major and her boss Aramaki. It's like in a high rise in Shanghai, attending a trade meeting. It's like undercover, because it turns out that there's been some attacks on Japanese mining interests in country. It's like and they're trying to figure out who's behind this. Now it's like as they're mingling at the at the party. They're subsequently attacked. They're subsequently attacked by a mysterious group of cyborgs, and Aramaki is kidnapped and taken off to parts unknown, while the Major is taken into custody. So while Major doesn't stay in custody long, she eventually escapes, tries to set up contact with Section 9, and also runs into a former comrade who she let out of the game. It's years ago, and now she needs her help in order to find out what's going on here. Meanwhile, Aramaki is captured and tortured over and over again in a Groundhog's Day style scenario. Now, the overall it's now like I like the tech setup here. It's got a nice mix. It's got a nice international intrigue setup with Major Kusanagi stuck in Shanghai, having to rely on her wits and the connections that Lee has provided in order to find out what's going on here. And I will say that this story earns major brownie points for me because of how it involves. It gives a pretty sizable role to Aramaki as well. Now, Aramaki is a guy who's I can only hope that I'm as cool as him when I get to be his age, and Gladstone gives him some really cool scenes. It's with his interrogators as he slowly turns the tables on them to basically just as once he finally figures out what's really going on here, and Lopez's art is really nice, and he's great with the action. And the character and the character work as well. And just the way that you see Motoko working with Lee in order to piece together what's slowly happening. It really does feel like a proper Ghost in the Shell story of the kind that I've been exposed to over the years. So yeah, so when I say that this would work really well as an episode of Standalone Complex. That's probably the best compliment that I can pay this series. And this first story, and the same is likely true to a somewhat lesser extent with the follow-up story, Red Bloods. This is from Alex DeCampi as the writer and Giannis Milano-Giannis as the artist. Now, Alex DeCampi is someone I'm familiar with as a comic writer. She's the writer of the Teens in Central America on the on the Goodwill Trip from Hell series, No Mercy, which sadly made her no money, and she and Carly Speed McNeil had to stop doing after 14 issues. She's also had some good success with the the Dark Horse multiple miniseries of Grindhouse, and she's also someone I've been meaning to get more into her work over the years as well. But it's like I know that when I see her, it's like I can usually count on a solid read, and that's true here. As for Milano Giannis, he was one of the primary artists on Brandon Graham's Prophet, and he did a great job showing us like some of the real science fiction craziness that the writer there was capable of dreaming up. Even though it's like his 2 issues he did for was it All New Ultimates? Showed that he was really not ready for prime time at Marvel. But he also did a series called Old City Blues, which is basically an homage to the 90s style cyberpunk stuff that Shiro helped inspire. And I think of it as Old City Blues is a fun homage. It's like, and of all the artists here, Milano Giannis is the kind of guy who is the one artist who tries to ape Shiro's style, not slavishly, mind you, but just the overall look. It's like look and feel of the characters and the settings, and even like some of the super deformed final chapter panels for the story. Now, as for the story itself, Red Bloods refers to a crime outfit. It's like in the U.S., specifically in Louisiana. It's like they've expanded to working on an international scale. And as we find out, like early on, it's like they're dealing in used cyber bodies. It's like and that's how and while used cyber bodies for minors, and while international law basically dictates that these things be destroyed at once they're of no use once the people are no longer using them, it's like they've been usurped for their own for nefarious purposes by the Red Bloods, like for black market purposes. And Section 9 has been called in to deal with it. So then they crash they crash a party on a ship where this respected doctor is trying to set up trying to secure an older body for his younger daughter. Now, as it turns out, though, his original daughter died a couple of years ago due to suicide. So as we find out later on, this girl, well, she's not his daughter, but what is she, and how did he get her in the first place? For that answer, Togusa and Saito need to are sent out to Louisiana to find out what the Red Bloods are up to. Meanwhile, back in Japan, the Major is having to dive into into the doctor's daughter's ghost to find out she's not his daughter. So where did she come from? And the answers she finds are kind of interesting from a philosophical and tech standpoint as well. So basically the story is basically split into two halves, and both of them are pretty interesting. It's from seeing what the Major digs up. And how that and the ethical dilemma that she uncovers. It's once she finds out just where the girl comes from, and also just the small insight that that Togusa and Saito's exploits into into the bayou reveal. It's our first real glimpse of what America is like in the Ghost in the Shell universe, and it's not pretty. But also DeCampi does have some nice interesting interplay between Togusa and Saito, two characters who've never really interacted before. If I recall, to be honest. And it's fun to see how they handle they handle working together. And it's pretty, especially once their tech is deactivated once they get into the Red Bloods territory. Overall, it's a nice solid solid story. It doesn't quite have like the same smoothness and assuredness that that Automatic Behavior has, and I think it's like much as I like Milano Giannis's art, it's like I said, he is clearly homaging, it's like Shiro's style. It's like and it's not really doesn't have quite the same like appealingness that that Lopez's original take on the characters has, and and in the end it does kind of wrap up pretty smoothly. But overall, it's like I think that this is another show that would make for a good, nice, solid episode of it's like a standalone complex. Now, as far as like if you're wondering like am I going to keep using this metric for the other two stories here? Well, the other two probably wouldn't fill that requirement, especially this next one. After the Ball is Over, from writer Genevieve Valentine and artist Brent Schoenver with layouts by Koi Pham. Now, I mentioned that Red Bloods is like the first look into what America is like. It's like in the Ghost in the Shell universe, and it's something that and America doesn't really come up a whole lot in the manga and in the TV series because hey, it's like why would it? And but the thing is with After the Ball is Over. It's also worth mentioning though that Genevieve Valentine, aside from having a really respected run of Catwoman under her belt, she also supplied one of the best stories from the Attack on Titan anthology. A story that was told through visitors guides to the different cities that and it was done in different installments. That with each one being significantly more redacted than the last by the government. They tried to cover up her like what she found out about the Titan attacks. It's like, and that also featured art from David Lopez as well. So hey, nice to see both of them coming back. That Kodansha asked both of them to come back for this project shows their good taste. So, but After the Ball is Over, this is a story that would probably on one hand would work just as well if you if you just published it as say like a one shot under Image, because the thing is one of my complaints with some of the stories in the Attack on Titan anthology is that some of them, like specifically the ones the opening one by Scott Snyder and Ray Fox, and also Simon Spurrier's one about Titans in England. These stories didn't really draw on the established mythology of the series so much to the point where hey, it's like they might have been okay, but why do an Attack on Titan story if you're not going to actually take in any Attack on Titan stuff? After the Ball is Over, I guess if you were really hardcore into Ghost in the Shell and we're really up on what Shiro's take on America in this series was like, you might be able to tell me whether or not this story actually works on that level, because basically it's a story of an older woman who basically makes her living sneaking out photos of code that's being worked on at a company that's at an internet company. So and we see how this is the America of today is basically a lot like your average third world country. It's where water is being sold for $100 a gallon. It's everything's being sanctioned by the United Nations. In fact, she's actually living in the part of the America that's classified as the American Empire, because now there's 3 different parts of America. I mean, yeah, there's still the United States, but it's barely a third of the country. And aside from the States, the Empire, and then there's the Russo-American Alliance, which it's I don't want to acknowledge any real feelings for current events here, because imagine this is something that Shiro probably came up with years ago, and she's just working jumping off from that here, but it's just kind of like, yeah, would have loved to have known more about how we got to this America, like in this story, but the story basically has this woman meeting up with her ex, and because he's apparently got some bad implants in him that apparently have someone else's memories inside them, and they're slowly ruining him and his mind, and so she feels compelled through like her old romantic memories of him to help him out of this situation. It's an interesting character story, and the thing is, like, it works as far as like this as a character study of like showing us like into this woman's mind, like why she does the things she does. It's like, and why she feels compelled to help this guy, even though she knows that it's going to end badly. And it's like the information that she that's in his head is also interesting, like from a political standpoint, from like for these characters as well, like for the nature of the world as well. It's just that it's like, I'm not saying you had to bring in Section 9 all the way out for another mission in America here, but I was like, but it just doesn't feel like all that connected to Ghost in the Shell. It's like for this for this anthology. So yeah, it's a good story, but it's one that doesn't feel particularly connected to the source material. That's honestly kind of disappointing, and it's really like the biggest complaint that I have against it. It's probably a lesser complaint compared to the final story, which called Star Gardens. That's from Brendan Fletcher, an artist, LRNZ. I've not heard of this artist, but he or she has a nice pleasingly light style that's kind of reminds me a lot of Freak Angel's Paul Duffield, and he has a good handle on the action. Sometimes the action, the futuristic designs of the characters. It's like, even though it's like there's sometimes when it can be kind of hard to follow. His artist is more concerned with being stylish than easy to follow. Now Fletcher was the co-writer on the Batgirl reboot from a couple of years back, with Cameron Stewart and Babs Tarr, that got a lot of attention, and he was also a co-writer on Gotham Academy as well. The students in Gotham by way of Scooby-Doo type series, which is fun. Like, even if it was kind of uneven in parts, and he also worked with Stewart and artist Babs Tarr on the series on Motor Crush, which one volume I gave one volume, and it's kind of like, wow, it's like you basically gave us like the volume where everything started falling apart for the characters that we didn't even know, like that should have been like volume 5 or so, volume 1. Okay. Anyway, the thing about Star Gardens is that it basically involves it's like a the guy named Cretan Domneval, who is selling ideas that he's gotten from parts unknown to other people in order to just it's like make lots of money. It's like, and just be like your average rich arrogant douchebag. Now, the series starts off with two characters. It's like Megumi and Apsel trying to break into his loft and try to find out just where he's getting his ideas from. Now, if you're wondering, well, how is this tied into Ghost in the Shell? Well, it becomes pretty clear right away, because it also deals with something that comes up from time to time in the series. It's like, and that's Major Kusanagi's ability to hack and branch into other ghosts. It's like sometimes she'll be able to take over some characters and find out in order to achieve her goals. Like there's one bit I remember in Second Gig where Togusa, when he was set up for in a shooting, and he was prepared to fall on his sword in front of the investigative hearing, but then Major Kusagi takes him over, and then basically has him has him give out some information that would have been that basically turns the tables on everyone. Now Togusa was pissed about this, but it's like, but eventually but he eventually understood. It's like, and it's like, and also it was kind of like the good call because because much as I like Togusa as a character, it's like his big flaw is that whenever he's faced with real adversity, like his first instinct is to fall on his sword, and that's like we saw that at the end of the first season, we saw it at that hearing, and then also in the film Solid State Society. Well, yeah, he almost shot himself in the head. It's like in order to like save his little daughter from being erased. So yeah. Anyway, that's a digression. But my issue here is that it may like while addressing the major's problems the moral implications of how the major is able to branch into other characters and take them over like for purposes relating to the law. It's like that's a solid that's solid enough jumping off point for a story. It's just that the way that Fletcher has the major deal with it doesn't feel quite true to her character, mainly in the sense that we show how she is worried, how she's kind of like taken aback by when she's confronted with someone who actually has grounds to challenge her about the ethical implications of what she's doing, and she's kind of knocked off her like her confident pedestal here. But the major that I've seen and read about, she's the kind who probably would have just shot them down with the handy means justify the end style argument, or even better yet, she would have had a pretty solid counter argument right here. The major who is kind of like left wondering about whether or not what she's doing here is right, doesn't quite feel right, like right here. I mean, like I said, it'd be a solid enough story like without that issue. It's like, and I think it does wrap up solidly enough. It's like overall, it's just it's like I said, the characterization of the major in this story doesn't quite square with how I felt about the character like since the beginning. But so overall, it's like I said, I can't see that any of these stories were really bad. I mean, it's like I said, Star Gardens is still well constructed, and like I said, After the Ball is Over is still pretty entertaining on its own terms. It's like even though it doesn't draw on the source material as much as I would have liked. Still though, the first two stories, Automatic Behavior and Red Bloods, are excellent. It's like, and if you are a fan of Ghost in the Shell, it's like, and you can get over the fact that it's like bunch of non-Japanese creators are taking on these characters in this setting, then yeah, it's like I think the volume would be, you'd probably be satisfied just for these stories alone. So really, it's like it's like I do think that Global Neural Network is a worthy follow-up to that Attack on Titan anthology, and I do think that if Kodansha wants to do more of these stories, like, hey, it's like they got that Battle Angel Alita film coming out in February. Maybe we'll see something along those lines in 2020. So like I say, if Kodansha wants to do more of these, then Ghost in the Shell Global Neural Network is a good argument for that. So just that, I hope they keep the same format and just do fewer creators with more pages to work with for the story. So yeah, there you go. John, any thoughts on your end about all this?
No, except it sounds interesting. So, did you pick this up from your usual spot?
I actually picked this up from Amazon. This is actually wait. Let me check, because I'm pretty sure that I can't remember if this is like $5 more or the same price as the Attack on Titan anthology. Because it's like, what the hell? It's like, yeah, because I've been buying. I said, I get most of my stuff through cheapgraphicnovels.com these days, and but also I order stuff on Amazon when it looks like there's a good deal, like through them, like. And this is one of those cases. So okay, yeah, this is the Ghost in the Shell. This is the Ghost in the Shell anthology. Or sorry, Global Neural Network is the same price as the Attack on Titan anthology. And if you're interested in the Attack on Titan anthology, it's being sold for like 43% off on Amazon right now.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good deal. It's actually more than what I paid for the Ghost in the Shell Global Neural Network.
Gotcha there. So, do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Not a clue. In fact, it's probably going to be. It's not. I'm going to put off my best of the year list for a little while because some of the stuff that I want to consider for it, it's probably going to have to wait until enough stuff accumulates for my next order from cheapgraphicnovels.com. But we'll see about that. So next week, it'll probably be a surprise. So it'll be a surprise to me as well. So there you go.
All right, and we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Click.
Later.
Bye.